Hey guys, welcome to Praying with Charles. We are a prayer ministry that takes you with us as we travel to the ends of the earth to witness the power of prayer firsthand. Today we're so excited. I'm here with my good friend David Pino, police officer. We're so excited to have you, man. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor, so thanks again.
So we're going to jump in, but first, the intro. I'm so happy that you're here. I've been praying about this and excited about it for a really long time. So thank you so much for being here. Guys, just a little bit about David. Him and I grew up in the same town. We're cut from the same cloth. I literally call his mom, and so that's how tight we are. Grew up with his older brother and know the rest of his family. Have a lot of respect for all of your family. You know, your dad, I look up to him quite a bit. So it's truly an honor to have you here, and I'm really excited for what God's gonna do. Anything you want to add to that about yourself?
Well, I'm really thankful to be here. Thanks again. I'm a police officer for the city of Monte Vista. I've been an officer about 9 years now. But another thing that I'm also a Christian, and I follow after Jesus Christ. So that's a pretty big thing that I'd like to share with not only you but the entire world. So.
Amen. That's awesome. All right. So one of the first questions we ask, is how do you pray? I'm really trying to figure out what people are doing and how they're connecting with God, and bring it down to maybe a more practical level for people. So what gets you excited about prayer? Kind of how do you do it? Do you go into a corner, or do you do it as you're in the patrol car? I mean, what's your prayer life look like?
Well, I when I'm praying, I appreciate what Jesus said to the woman at the well, where we don't have to be at a specific place to pray. We can pray anywhere.
Yeah.
And whether it be inside my patrol car or at home, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be a prayer closet. But because at home I do have a room where specifically I can go and submit my petitions to God. But when I'm praying, it's more of a dialogue.
Okay.
It's not just me talking, and I believe that prayer has to have some time where I have to stop and listen to see what He's saying back.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how I pray, and I'm not constantly begging God to do something for me either. I believe Jesus gave a model when He said this is how you should pray, and it's giving God thanks and glory, and then afterwards submit your request, and at the end giving Him thanks and glory. It's like a thanks sandwich, a thanks, the request, and thanks again. So that's how I pray.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And I resonate with all of that. Whether I'm at work or sitting at the house or in church Sunday morning, I really that's one of the scriptures I lean on when Jesus talking to the woman at the well, that you can do it anywhere, and that's that part of normalizing prayer. And so kind of the meat and potatoes of this whole ministry is really trying to find out, when God's people humble themselves and pray, how does He respond? We don't want to interject into that in any way. We just want to hear what God's actually up to. So whether we feel it's good, bad, or indifferent. And so that's my question to you, is maybe describe a moment or a prayer or a season that you've prayed about, and basically how did God respond?
Well, I would call it more of a season. 2017, I believe. It's a little over 2 years now. In August 2017, I just out of nowhere I started having extreme panic attacks and anxiety attacks that I've never dealt with that before. I never thought it was a real thing. However, when they hit hard. They were absolutely real. They were so severe I couldn't drive anywhere.
Okay.
I couldn't step out of the threshold of my house without having some type of panic attack, and I had to take some time off of work. Thankfully, the city allowed me to take some leave time, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And from there, I started having to go to doctors and get some type of medications and therapists and a combination of the two. And it was a type of season where I said, honestly, God, where are you? I really felt like almost abandoned.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a pleasant season. I wouldn't want to do it again, but I'm glad I went through it.
Amen.
Because it showed me the power of prayer, because I can drive just fine. I can work. I mean, I know my line of work is stressful, but I can work. Not only am I working, but I'm training new officers.
Oh, praise God.
And if I'm not able to actually just learn from what happened, then I wouldn't be the man I am today.
That's incredible.
And am I 100%? Well, my spirit is 100%.
Okay.
And if my body and my spirit agree, then I'm gonna be 100%.
That's awesome.
So
thinking about the future, that kind of actually lines up for the next question: is what are you praying about? And I imagine just from hearing that part of that's wrapped up into that continuation. But I know you're married and stuff, and so what are you and your wife? What are you in your personal life praying for? What's next?
My wife and I were just celebrating our 10th anniversary, so it's actually today.
Dude, no.
And that's really good for us. And whether I'm not sure if children is what we want to do, but if that's the will and plan of God, then by all means let's do that.
Okay.
Otherwise, what we're praying for specifically is my parents and continued healing in my father and my brother.
Okay.
So that's what we're praying for and believing for, and I know that it will come to pass. So.
That's right. Yeah, we'll actually slip that in too, because one of the things that we always want to continue doing on Praying with Charles is taking prayer requests, and we want to make sure and cover every one of them. So if you guys are watching now, just head to the comment section below, put your prayer request in. We're going to cover it. David's going to pop back in and check those too. I know you will. And so we want to cover those, but we usually take prayer requests and then cover them here in this part of the video. But because you're here in uniform, man, I appreciate you doing that. I just want to take a moment and just pray for first responders. And so if I can start us off and you kind of close it, I think that would be great, because it's super important. And so, that's something that we honor and we appreciate and we value, and we just really want to tell you guys thank you so much for being willing to take a job that's putting yourself and maybe your desires and needs and wants second to someone else's. And so, I'm going to start out and then you can close this. Heavenly Father God, we just pause for a moment to give you praise that you've instilled a courage and a character in your sons and daughters who are willing to go out and put their lives on the line, arrive first on scene and give medical care, fight fires, God. We just lift up the first responders, and we say specifically in the San Luis Valley, that's where we're at right now, in Alamosa, Monte Vista, Del Norte, as you keep going around the valley, as we call it here. But Father, even beyond that, we just ask for protection and guidance over all the work they do. In Jesus' name.
Father, I just thank you for your love for the first responders. I thank you that you make us bold as lions. Yeah. And Father, I pray the prayer of protection over all my brothers and sisters in uniform, firefighters, EMTs, and police officers alike. Thank you that you cover them, and I thank you that they'll return safely to their family. Thank you that no evil shall befall them.
That's right.
I thank you with long life you satisfy them, and thank you for showing them your salvation. Father, we just give you all the honor and glory, and we ask that you would touch the lives of police officers that don't know you as Lord and Savior yet.
Yes, Father.
And in your name, thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Awesome. That's so encouraging. Hey guys, I want to encourage you as well. You know, just what I'm hearing from David, that continuing faith. I think that's what's most important. You know, I heard a story in seminary where there was two girls and they both had the same disease. They were in the hospital side by side. One of them died and the other one lived. And the big question is, well, what wins? What wins in that situation? The girl that lived or the girl that died? Who wins? Well, the fact is that faith wins. You know, whatever God's pulling us through, whatever we're dealing with, that faith wins. And I've always known you to be a man of faith, and obviously that's why I want to collaborate with you and bring you on. I just admire that. And so I didn't know if you had any further words of encouragement for these guys.
Well, I can just say this, is that God hears your prayers, and even when they're not being answered right yet, He hears them, and when the time's right, they'll be answered. Even when it's not the answer that you're expecting. Some people pray for healing of diseases and cancers and stuff, and they end up passing, but then they get to go to heaven, and that's an ultimate prize.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
whether it be this life or the next, God hears you. And don't be discouraged by slow prayers, because sometimes they manifest a little bit slower.
That's awesome. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this content, would you do me a favor, hit the like button, and as always, please subscribe. That's going to keep this thing going, keep this thing pumping. Take it a next step further, hit the little bell in the corner, then when we get a new video, YouTube's actually going to notify you. So we appreciate all that love. Show David some love down in the comments. You know, tell him what his story meant to you. Let him encourage you and pray for you further. Let's keep the conversation going. Down in the description section of the video, you'll see a little link to a Bible if you need a Bible, a little prayer book as well. I like to track my interactions with God, my prayers. You know, my wife Jolene and I, we track things over the years and look back, and so that's a good little spot to do that as well. And don't forget, we'll see you guys in the next video.